Go fuck yourself in advance.
That's a fine how do you do. D2 Word Life here with Rip. I love choosing bad wrestling events tides.
No, it was a good wrestling event. You just thought it sucked.
Oh, the shit that we freaking seen? Yeah, in my opinion, it sucked. But anyway, the event in question that we're talking about is SummerSlam 2004. That took place on August 15, 2004 in Toronto, Ontario, Canada at the Air Canada Centre with an attendance of 17,640. And the commentators were Jim Ross, Jerry Lawler, Taz, and your boy Michael Cole.
Nope, your boy Michael Cole.
Yeah, and this was a Raw and SmackDown branded pay-per-view, obviously. And the ring announcers were Lillian Garcia, Tony Chimel, and Howard Finkel for the main event. And before we even get into this event here, Riptide's telling me fuck you in advance. He's just scared. We all know you're scared of the event I'm going to pick, and you know you should be.
Not really, no. Just remember, I have worse pay-per-views in my bag of tricks here.
So do I.
Not as bad as mine.
Oh, we'll all see. But before the event got started, special shout out to the Sunday Night Heat match, which saw Rob Van Dam. I know, it's weird. He was on the Sunday Night Heat before SummerSlam. Defeating Rene Dupree. Remember that guy?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. We all know you loved Rene Dupree's French tickler. We need to review an event that he actually competed at.
We've done that. No, that is you.
No, that's you.
Nope, that's you.
Anyway, after that, we got shown, a video package inspired by the Olympics for some reason to kick off the show, and then after the
because SummerSlam was during the Summer Olympics of that year, and they literally had WWE superstars go there to do promos for it.
Yep. Yeah, and then after the opening hype package, we get, the opening pyro, us being welcome to the show. And then we get on to the first match, which was Rey Mysterio teaming up with the tag team champions Billy Kidman and Paul London to take on Bubba Ray, Devon, and the Cruiserweight champions Mike Dudley in a 6-man tag. This match was okay. I mean, I've seen better opening contests, but both teams were at each other, went back and forth on it. And this whole, I don't think any team got the momentum it was. I mean, Spike Dudley turned on Rey Mysterio in a couple weeks prior to this to set up the 6-man tag, and was revealed as the boss of the Dudley Boys. Remember that little storyline?
Yeah.
But in the end, freaking Kidman got caught in the 3D, which led to Spike Dudley pinning him to win the match. Near the end. Now, any highlights from this opening 6-man tag that stand out to you?
Just Spike Dudley thinking he's better than everyone.
Huh. But, we did have some typical high-flying cruiserweight action, which made it somewhat entertaining. Yeah, I've seen better opening contests than this, but it doesn't take away from what it was. I thought it was an alright way to open up this show. As I didn't go into detail with it, I really don't do that anymore. But yeah, I thought it was a good show, a good showing. It felt something more like you could see on SmackDown, but still it was alright for what it was. With the heels getting the sneaky win. Right. Why did they have to put this one next up in the match order? Because the second match on this freaking card was that Till Death Do Us Part match. Before I go into detail, before I freaking talk about this match, what is it? What was up with WWE's, or more specifically, the Booker's fetish, the WWE Booker's fetish, in putting fucking Kane in these cringe storylines? Because it was a couple years prior to this, we had the Katie Vick angle, and now we had this.
Yeah.
And in the storyline, Kane impregnated Lita through the power of grape, and yes, I am using air quotes. You just can't see it. And then Matt Hardy wanted to freaking marry freaking Lita, and then later revealed that the baby was not his, and it was just all crap. And you know what the payoff was? It wasn't my fault. But we're not here for that.
My fault. I stopped stealing James Snitsky's fucking shit, bitch. I quit stealing my shit.
I ain't stealing your shit.
I said my shtick.
I ain't stealing nothing off of you.
Liar.
But anyway, the stipulation of this match, which would really be frowned upon today, would be the winner of this match got to marry Lita. God. I really hate talking about this match already. But you know, Matt Hardy did freaking take the fight to Kane from the get-go here. Including at one point performing a twist of fate onto Kane on the outside of the ring, which gave Matt Hardy a 9 count out of 10 before Kane got back in. And then at one point, Lita handed Matt Hardy the ring bell and then distracted the referee, allowing freaking Matt Hardy to nail Kane in the head with the ring bell only for a 2 count. Right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, Matt Hardy made one crucial mistake. He tried to suplex Kane off the top rope near the end, but Kane countered that into the chokeslam from the top rope and got the 3 count. And as a result of Kane's victory, he was able to go and marry Lita.
Yeah.
This whole storyline was crap. Right?
It was funny.
Yeah, and of course Lita and Kane would have their wedding 2 weeks later after this on Raw, which was memorable, which I guess was memorable, but for all the wrong reasons. And that whole thing ended when Kane freaking chokeslammed Matt Hardy off the stage, writing Matt Hardy off of TV due to a knee injury I believe he had at that point. Yeah, so your thoughts on this match?
It wasn't good. Matt Hardy fucking tried to do fucking super side effect, in which got reversed into a fucking super chokeslam.
Kane delivering that chokeslam off the top rope, super chokeslam. I think that was one of the first times we seen it. Don't quote me on that because I don't know for sure. Because I remember he pulled the same thing on Randy Orton at WrestleMania 28 to win that match against Orton. The same thing he did with Matt Hardy years prior.
Yeah.
Prior to that, so I think this was one of the first times we've seen Kane do the super chokeslam off the top rope. I could be wrong though. There could have been a time he did it earlier than that, but this is the first time I remember seeing it.
Very few first times.
Yeah. I think it was one of those first times. I don't remember a time prior to this. They did the super chokeslam, but I could be totally wrong though. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was it was something, all right. And of course, you know, I have to mention this backstage. Backstage, freaking Randy Orton was getting interviewed, having his match with Chris Benoit for the world title until he got interrupted by John Cena. And John Cena was like, "Who's here? Who likes Chris Benoit?" They all cheer. Who likes Randy Orton? They boo. Ooh, that's sad. That's bad, right? Oh, and speaking of these fans were freaking bizarre and weird, and we'll explain that later as matches progress forward. But next up, we have match 1 of the Best of 5 series between John Cena and Booker T, and this was for the Best of 5 series for the U.S. title, so the U.S. Championship wouldn't be decided until the last match, which I believe took place at the 2004 No Mercy event. So this was match number 1 of 5 that they would have in the span of like 2 months. All right?
Yeah.
So yeah, early on in this match, it's like Cena was in control of Booker T, but then Booker T got back in control over Cena.
Well, the reason why this match also came about was because Kurt Angle fucking stripped Cena of the championship.
Yes, for no reason. Right?
Which was bullshit.
Back when Kurt Angle was the GM of SmackDown. Probably you remember that little time period. Yeah, then Booker was able to, near the end of the match, Booker was able to hit the scissors kick onto Cena, but he couldn't follow up because Cena actually retaliated by giving Booker T the FU to win the match and go up 1-0. And I honestly think the ending came way too damn quick here. I just look, I'm like, that's it? That's all she wrote? That felt so brief. To me, that felt like this match felt so brief because of it. All right.
It was a 15 match.
Exactly. I mean, what was the official time on this one? Yeah, it was a 6.5 minute match, but shit. You would think with performers like Cena and Booker T, this match would go on a little bit longer. Right? And I'm just like, that's brief. Both of them wrestled better matches. It felt average at best to me. Right?
Well, they had to hurry along the pay-per-view as well.
Yeah, because everyone was looking forward to another certain segment on here. Oh, and just for the record, how come Booker T and John Cena only got about 6.5 minutes when Triple H and Eugene got 15 to 20? That was another horrible booking decision on this show. And I know we haven't even gotten to that match yet, but you know what I'm saying. Right? But whatever, Cena got the victory here. It felt average at best. But you know what else was short? The next match we're about to talk about.
Your attention span?
Your attention span is short. What are you talking about?
Uh-huh.
Actually, no. You know what else is short? Your member. But anyway.
No. What are you talking about, 2 centimeter?
No, that's you.
No.
But anyway, the next short match on this card, which only clocked in at about 9-10 minutes, was that Intercontinental Championship Triple Threat match, which saw Edge defend the Intercontinental title against Batista and Chris Jericho. And despite being
pre-evolution Batista.
Yeah, pretty much evolution Batista at this point. And despite freaking being from Toronto, Ontario, and having this event take place in Toronto, Ontario, Edge was getting booed in this match, and this was before he turned heel. He was still a face at this point.
Booed.
Oh, Edge was getting booed like freaking Batista was. Jericho was getting all the cheers. Because every time Edge would be hitting an offensive move against Jericho, the fans would boo the hell out of it.
No, I think it was the other way around there, buddy.
What kind of match were you seeing? Even the commentators pointed that out, saying, wow, this is Bizarro world here. Right?
I was watching the same match you were.
I was too, and I was listening to the fans react, and I'm just like, wow, they're acting negative toward Edge, and this was before Edge's heel turn. That would define his career.
Positive towards Edge. They loved Edge.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
Hell, I think I heard a small Batista chant over friggin' an Edge chant. I hate to say it. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but, Batista felt more like the third wheel. He just felt like he was there to be there because this was mostly Edge and Jericho facing each other and getting the offense in. All right? I mean, at one point, I believe Edge got the upper hand over Jericho. The fans hated it. Jericho got the upper hand over Edge. With the walls of Jericho, the fans cheered it. And then
Batista bashed them all in the head.
And the fans were kind of dead silent for that. This was before Batista became the big face of SmackDown as a world champion. Obviously, that wouldn't be until about a year later. And then Batista was on offense a little bit, but then every time he would keep getting on offense, he would either get knocked down by Edge or Jericho or both, right? Since he was a big, strong threat in the match. And then, near the end of the match, Batista came in, tried to do some more damage, probably a clothesline or whatever. I don't remember exactly. All I know is he got knocked out of the ring. Then Edge performed a spear on Jericho to retain the Intercontinental Championship with a 3 count.
Well, Edge fucking clipped Batista in the back of the leg.
Yes.
And then fucking that dropped Batista and Chris Jericho face first.
Yeah.
And then Edge speared Chris Jericho out of his boots.
This match kind of felt average. It didn't feel like a pay-per-view worthy match. I understand they put him on there because, Edge from Toronto, and 2, it gives all 3 men a pay-per-view match at SummerSlam, but in hindsight, it felt like something you could have watched on Raw. And let's face it, did anyone think Batista would have won the Intercontinental title back then? I never really viewed Batista as a contender for the Intercontinental title.
He could have.
I mean, yes, Batista's been a tag champion, but when it comes to singles championships, I associate Batista more with the world title or WWE championships, not any mid-card title.
He was a United States champion.
But, either way, Edge retained. The fans didn't really like it because I wanted Jericho to win this match. I mean, Jericho would become the Intercontinental Champion later on, about a month later, but that was only because Edge was off on injury. So, yeah, anyway, the next match on this card we're about to talk about, these matches just kept going, really, one after another here. But this one had some story. It was the WrestleMania 20 rematch between Kurt Angle and Eddie Guerrero. Kurt Angle actually cost Eddie Guerrero the WWE Championship in the months leading up to SummerSlam, not once, but twice. Once as a general manager saying, "Oh, Bradshaw's shoulder hit the corner turnbuckle before your hand could touch. JBL's the new champion." Back at the Great American Bash, remember that?
Yeah.
And then Angle as a mess, and Kurt Angle pretty much pulling a Chad Gable nowadays, wrestling, hiding under a mask, whatever, under a lucha mask.
Blind luchadora.
Whatever, screwed Eddie Guerrero again in a cage match on SmackDown for the WWE title. Just for Eddie Guerrero to grab him and unmask him right then and there. So, yeah, long story short of this storyline.
Also caused Kurt Angle his general manager career. Yeah, he fucking came out saying, "Oh, I'm injured."
Which that was. I'm not saying that was a fake injury because in real life Angle was injured and needed time off, but it wasn't as bad as what they were portraying on WWE. It's not like he had a busted leg or really drastic injury. I think it was more neck problems at the time. You know what I'm saying? Which I had to keep him out of the ring for a while.
Mr. Man was about to get the humanitarian award, and then that shit happened.
Yeah, so that's why Kurt Angle was playing general manager to heal up for a bit while still being on the road. Yeah, and then freaking Angle was like, "Hey," it's like, "Hey, the only reason you beat me at WrestleMania is because you cheat. You cannot beat me. You cannot beat me without cheating." He goes, "Yeah, maybe I can't beat you without cheating, but what if I can?" Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, the next match, this match we're about to talk about, Kurt Angle versus Eddie Guerrero. Angle made his entrance first. He had Luther Reigns in his corner. No relation to Roman Reigns, by the way. And this match was a good like back and forth matchup here. But yeah, in the early parts of this match, freaking it already surpassed all the other matches in my opinion because Angle and Guerrero were actually trying to out wrestle each other in this match.
Well, Guerrero fucking still Kurt Angle shit hit him with the fucking ankle slam and his fucking
and he got him in the ankle a couple times. And then Angle would out wrestle Guerrero, and whatever friggin' Angle was trying to do, Guerrero would friggin' like reverse out of it. Like literally, these two were literally mat wrestling each other for like the first 5 minutes of this match, and I'm just like, yeah, it already has a high score for me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then like halfway through the matchup, when Angle and Eddie were down, Eddie was like laying towards the rope behind the referee's back. Luther Reigns got involved, nailed Eddie Guerrero in the head, and I'm just like, well, because that interferes, it loses some points.
Yeah.
But then later on in the match, Kurt Angle was working on Eddie Guerrero's ankle and leg, but Angle was actually being smart because he was untying Eddie Guerrero's boot. Similar to what happened at WrestleMania, right? When Eddie was unloosing the boot, right? And then Angle at one point got the ankle lock on it. Eddie would counter it, then Eddie would try to fight back, including hitting the Three Amigos a couple of times. But Angle again would counter into the ankle lock, and Eddie Guerrero freaking got out of it. And obviously, at this point, Angle took Eddie Guerrero's boot off. But despite that, Eddie Guerrero still kept fighting back. Eventually nailed the Three Amigos, went for the frog splash, and got a 2 count. And everyone thought, okay, what's going to happen here? But as soon as Guerrero went to go pick Angle up, Angle once again applied the ankle lock, this time on the exposed ankle of Eddie Guerrero, and he grapevined it to the point to where Eddie Guerrero had no choice. He couldn't escape, he couldn't get out, and he had to tap out.
Yep.
Thus giving Kurt Angle the win by submission. And honestly, I'm just like, do I think the WrestleMania 20 encounter was better? Yes, this one to me, though, was a close second. Because even though I didn't like the Luther Reigns interference in the match, besides that little tidbit in the match, this one was a solid back and forth contest.
Yeah.
So yeah, and to me, this was the best match of the night. Your thoughts on this Angle Guerrero rematch? You're like, I have no thoughts.
Huh?
I said, your thoughts on this Eddie Guerrero Kurt Angle rematch?
It was good.
Yeah, me personally, I thought it was the best match of the night of this whole show. Obviously, it's a standout on a really low match quality show, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's your opinion.
You know which match was too damn long and shouldn't have even happened on the show, and if it was, it should have been a squash? The next match we're about to talk about featuring Triple H taking on Eugene, your favorite wrestler.
First of all, the next match after that was actually the Dodgeballs, Divas Dodgeball.
Let me take a look at my notes here. Actually, the Divas Dodgeball segment took place after the Triple H Eugene match. Because I listed these in order, but you know what? Fine, you want to do the Divas Dodgeball match? We can talk about that briefly real quick. We can talk about that briefly, and then we'll talk about this Eugene Triple H match, even though it'll be out of order. I don't care. It was the Team Divas versus the Diva Search contestants. I don't even give a crap what their official team name was. It was
Team Dream.
Team Dream. I don't give a fuck. It was obviously shot somewhere else in a freaking goddamn what was a gymnasium? Is that what they're called?
It was the freaking Toronto basketball team's court.
Yes. Yeah, and it was 5 representative Team Divas. The Diva Search contestants, there was 5 of them there. The Diva Search contestants won 4-0. All members of Team Diva got eliminated. The Diva Search contestants won. I don't give a fuck. That segment was crap. When I'm watching fucking wrestling, I don't want to have memories of my traumatized childhood by dodgeball. You ever have a fucking red rubber ball smack you in the face? I still remember that fucking sound. That's probably why I'm fucked up in the head right now.
We all know that this was your favorite segment of the night.
This match was shit, and unfortunately, this match also had the distinction of being the pay-per-view debut of Michelle McCool.
Yeah. Also, it was in her, Gail Kim's hometown.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? This match, if you want to call it that, this one sucked ass. I didn't give a fuck about it.
Dustin, did you have flashbacks when Gail Kim got hit in the face?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, did you? I bet you also played dodgeball in elementary school. We all fucking did.
And?
Before the schools they banned it.
PTSD like you did.
Yeah. Kids today will never know what it's like to get a fucking orange rubber ball smacked in their face.
Red rubber ball, bitch.
Fuck off. A red rubber ball smacked in their face. I don't give a shit. This segment sucked. Fuck this. Fuck that shit. You don't need to watch it. You don't need to take your time to watch it. You will regret it. So now, can we get back to the fucking goddamn Triple H Eugene match, which might as well be the greatest match ever compared to what we just talked about?
Despite the fact this was also your favorite match of the night.
No. This was your favorite match of the night. And this one also had a backstory. Oh, Eugene said his favorite wrestler was Triple H.
Well, first of all, if no one knows who Eugene is, he was the
Eric Bischoff's nephew.
Nephew of
Eric Bischoff. And you know what? The
guy I always beat you with in the 2K games.
And you know what? Fuck you for that. Fuck you for reminding me about that. And no offense to Nick Desmore, I'm pretty sure he obviously is a great wrestler. He knows how to wrestle. Obviously, I mean, he's intelligent at that, but this character was controversial. But yeah, whatever.
He was the mentally challenged nephew of Eric Bischoff.
Yes, and the jokes that Jerry Lawler was making on commentary during this match didn't really help either.
Yes, it did.
But yeah, Eugene said his favorite wrestler was Triple H. Triple H was just using Eugene, messing with him, saying he's a member of Evolution until Eugene freaking cost him a world title match against Benoit at the Vengeance pay-per-view the month prior, which caused this feud to freaking start, which saw Triple H beat the hell out of William Regal, beating the crap out of him, and busting him up into the hospital. And I'm just like, yeah, and then Eugene got busted up, beaten down, and pulverized as well. Well, they beat down Eugene first, and then William Regal, and then, accumulate into this match being announced. This match should have been, if you ask me, this match should have been a fucking short 5-minute squash with Triple H destroying Eugene. That's all it should have been. But no, we got fucking 15 to 20 minutes of this shit. But you know,
it was more like a 30-minute fight.
We didn't need 30 minutes of this.
Yes, we did.
Nobody asked for this.
Yes, they did.
I don't care how popular the Eugene character was back then. It was cringe.
You liked it. You know it.
Yeah, and then you know what's funny? They had Triple H on the offense near the beginning of the fucking match, especially when he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go hide behind Lillian Garcia from this guy," and then freaking goes to it, and then pretends to attack her, taking Lillian out of the dang equation for the rest of the night. She was probably thinking, "Thank God I don't have to be around for this crap shoot anymore." Shit, if I was a ring announcer and this was happening, I'd be like, "Can someone take me out of here so I don't have to be at ringside to see this shit?" But whatever, that distraction we used to distract Eugene, though it's not hard for that to happen. Wait, what? What am I saying? I'm gonna get in trouble for this freak just talking about this. And Jerry Lawler on commentary, he didn't help nothing either. I ain't repeating any of the jokes he said here. It would be really inappropriate. And of course, later on in the match, Eugene countered Triple H's attacks, executing a rock bottom for a 2 count. At one time, and I believe at one time, Eugene even hit the pedigree, Triple H's own move, onto Triple H for another 2 count. I'm just like, huh? There's only one. It wasn't
just the rock bottom that he hit.
He also hit a stunner too.
Hit the people's elbow.
The stunner as well. Triple H, and even nailed Triple H with his own pedigree. Got 2 count. I'm like, sorry, there's only one person that could beat Triple H with his own move, and it's not Eugene. Oh shit! Right.
Also, he hit the Hogan boot.
I think he also hit a leg drop too, a Hogan leg drop, which also Triple H kicked out of. Then Ric Flair tried to interfere.
Austin's he literally mimicked Austin when he fought Triple H when he flipped double birded him.
And gave him a stunner, but that was also a 2 count. Ric Flair came out, tried to interfere in the match at one point, but got ejected from the referee. But as soon as Flair was leaving, William Regal came out and nailed Ric Flair with a pair of brass knuckles. And then Eugene, so distracted with William Regal's appearance there, Regal was like, "Turn around!" And as soon as freaking Eugene turned around, he got nailed with a pedigree, and Triple H won the match via pinfall.
Yep.
This was this was like what, a 20-minute match? It was 15 minutes too long.
Yep.
This should have just been a short fucking god dang dominating squash.
Yep.
Ugh. This would have been like James Ellsworth going freaking goddamn 20 minutes with Brock Lesnar. It would have made no sense.
Well, you also forgot the Sunday Night Heat with Matt. Oh, no, that was a different one.
But your thoughts on this one?
It was interesting.
It was cringe. I was losing brain cells just watching this. I'm like,
and people lose brain cells by listening to you. So,
if that's the case, then how come you're not full-fledged stupid right now?
That's because I make everything more entertaining.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I didn't really like this match, but I had to give the devil his due here and say that this match was a little bit above average, but that doesn't mean I liked it either.
Uh-huh.
Now, if it was a 5-minute dominating squash, I probably would have given it 5 out of 5, but nope, that ain't happening. That didn't happen. But yeah, like I said, after this match was the aforementioned freaking Divas Dodgeball, which we already recovered anyway. I'm not going through it again for a second time, so let's just go on to the main event. And you know what's funny? Neither main event had a video package hyping up. They just got straight into the match. So the next match we're about to talk about was for the WWE Championship, which saw JBL defend his newly won WWE Championship for the first time on pay-per-view against The Undertaker. This crowd was silent for most of it. After the entrances of both Undertaker and JBL, the crowd was silent for most of it. But gotta talk about a little something I know after this matchup about this particular moment, this matchup here. Anyway, the match started with both Taker and JBL starting the match on the outside of the ring, just beating the heck out of each other. Because the Undertaker was like, I ain't got time for your bullshit, right?
Fucking Taker was just taking it too. He didn't fucking care if he was getting damaged or not. He just fucking took out fucking Orlando and yo.
Yeah, but then back in the ring for a good portion, there was moments where JBL was taking advantage, wear down holds and power moves. You could say the same thing about the Undertaker's offense as well. Right, you know, his classic offense he took JBL down with. The fans really weren't into it. I think they were doing the wave at one point during this match. Or was that the next match? I don't know. Right?
Probably both.
I mean, it felt like the crowd during this match was quiet for the most part and just cheering, entertaining themselves. But, you know, despite that, near the end of the matchup, Taker was able to hit the last right on the JBL from out of the corner when JBL did the taking punches in the corner. Stalled for a bit, I think, for a 2 count. And even fucking...
Well, Undertaker also hit the clothesline from hell.
I was about to say, yes, even the Undertaker nailed JBL with his own finisher, the clothesline from hell, knocking him down. Knocking JBL down for another 2 count here. But then the referee got knocked out mid-match, or near the end of the match, I should say. And here's where this whole thing goes fucky. Because Orlando Jordan, who was on the outside, gave JBL the WWE Championship, which JBL used to hit The Undertaker with. But The Undertaker didn't want to stay down. He got back up, cleaned house, took the WWE Championship belt, nailed JBL with it, but then that's when the referee conveniently got up, saw Taker do it, and disqualified The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Thus handing JBL the win. But at this point, The Undertaker didn't give a fuck about the match or the title.
No.
Because the beatdown continued. JBL at this point was busted open. And The Undertaker actually threw JBL onto the roof of the limousine, or hood of the limousine on the outside.
He didn't throw him. He fucking ragdolled his ass.
Yeah, and
there was no throw. His body was lifeless.
Yeah, and at this point, Orlando Jordan was also taken out. And then The Undertaker was like, you know what? Okay, I had enough. I've done enough. I'm going to freaking walk out of here like a boss. But then The Undertaker just looked up and goes, you know what? On second thought, fuck this guy. Right? So The Undertaker got JBL back up and proceeded to chokeslam JBL through the roof of the limousine before walking out.
Yeah, that was one flimsy roof.
Thus symbolizing the feud was still going, and the resulting in this also resulted in obviously JBL being taken out of the arena on a stretcher. And you all know this would eventually lead to the first ever last ride match between the two at No Mercy. All right.
Which he lost.
But your thoughts on this one, despite the screwy finish?
It was good.
And this was a way for JBL to get his ass kicked, but still keep the title. I get it. Right. So yeah, I thought it was a good showing. It was an alright main event despite the DQ finish, but because of how JBL got laid out anyway at the end, I'll give the DQ screwy finish a pass. on this one. Sometimes you just gotta overlook shit like that with the grander schemes of things. Because obviously the rivalry still continued past this point.
Yep.
And from then on there, we go to the main event, which was for the World Heavyweight Championship, which saw World Heavyweight Champion Chris Benoit, a statement that WWE does not want to acknowledge today, defending against Randy Orton. And this was Evolution's Randy Orton. The young 24-year-old Randy Orton competing in this main event. Right.
It doesn't matter what he did outside the ring. He was still a good in-ring performer.
But yeah, anyway, match began, and, Benoit and Orton took the fight to each other, mostly Benoit taking the fight to Orton here.
Shortly after this.
Yep. I mean, Benoit was taking the fight to Orton shortly after this, and then Orton Orton at one point in the match, attempted to apply a sharpshooter on Benoit, only for Benoit to reverse it and apply a sharpshooter of his own on Orton here, and then Orton, to his credit, managed to get to the ropes to get out of the submission hold, right? I mean, this was a good back and forth scrap here to end this pay-per-view on. And then later on, Chris Benoit performed 7 German suplexes on Orton. And somewhere, Brock Lesnar was smiling, saying to himself, if I ever return, I'm a freaking do that.
Yeah.
But then Chris Benoit was going for the top rope to perform his signature diving headbutt, but Orton blocked it with his feet, or got his feet up to block it. Right?
Yep.
And here's what I like about this match. Near the end of the match, freaking Benoit attempted to apply his crippler crossface submission hold, but Orton countered it into a freaking RKO out of nowhere to get the 3 count to win his first world championship.
Well, also Chris Benoit freaking tried to attempt fucking over the rope headbutt, flying fucking headbutt from in the ring, and fucking just crash and burns into the freaking barricade.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that spot. That spot was scary. Whew.
Yeah, after knowing that he had gone through neck surgery a year prior,
and not to mention all the concussions that he had, yeah, that probably attributed to him. But yeah, I thought this was a good back and forth scrap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Orton winning his first world championship here, do I believe it was the right call? Maybe not at the time, but with the power of hindsight, with how, and I'm not talking about the whole Benoit incident, I'm talking about how far Randy Orton's career has become nowadays. Yes, it was the right call back then. Even though Orton himself would said he wasn't ready for it to be a main eventer at that point.
No, he said he was ready for the main event.
And of course, after the matchup, Benoit came back to the ring while Orton was celebrating with the World Championship, and Benoit stuck his hand out and said, "Be a man, shake my hand, be a man," which Orton actually shook Benoit's hand, signifying a face turn. Right?
Yeah.
Which, the aftermath of this, yes, Randy Orton would be kicked out of Evolution the following night after this on Raw, starting a whole feud with Triple H. In their first of many battles against each other.
Yes.
Including at WrestleMania. At a WrestleMania. Right.
Multiple Manias.
Yeah, Mania 25 in that singles match, and if you want to count it, 24 in that triple threat. But anyway, But anyway, that was our, and I thought this match was good, so the main event was good. So anyway, here's our thoughts about SummerSlam 2004, our favorite segment, our review segment. The Dudley Boys, all three Dudley Boys defeating Rey Mysterio, Paul London, and Billy Kidman. I gave that one 3 out of 5.
I gave it a 4.
You enjoyed it slightly more than I did. Kane defeating Matt Hardy in that Till Death Do Us Part match, I only gave 2 out of 5. That match sucked.
5 out of 5.
That's because you want to see the world burn. John Cena defeating Booker T in that match, one of that best of 5 series. I only gave that one 2.5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
You love short friggin' matches that are crap, don't you?
Maybe.
Edge defeating Chris Jericho and Batista to retain the Intercontinental Championship, 3 out of 5.
4.5.
Jeez, you enjoyed it better than I do. What's wrong with you? Kurt Angle defeating Eddie Guerrero in that WrestleMania 20 rematch. I gave that one 4 3/4 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
Would have gotten 5 out of 5 from me if it wasn't for that interference from Luther Reigns. Triple H defeating Eugene in that match that was longer than it had any right to be. I gave that one 3.5 out of 5.
4.5.
Jesus.
What? The match made me laugh.
I bet it did. The Diva Search contestants defeating Team Diva in that freaking Diva Dodgeball. 0 out of 5. Fuck that crap.
5 out of 5.
0. I am right. You know that. JBL defeating The Undertaker by disqualification in that WWE Championship match. 3 3/4 out of 5.
4.5.
And Randy Orton defeating Chris Benoit to become the new World Heavyweight Champion. 4 out of 5.
4.5.
All right. So my final grade for SummerSlam 2004 is a C.
B.
To me, it just felt more average than anything. So, yep. That's our thoughts on SummerSlam 2004. And oh my God, be afraid now.
What are you going to have me watch? Fucking Cringe Lord?
Oh, I think it's going to be more than fucking straight up cringe. It's going to be, you're going to hate me for this, and I already fucking know. And trust me, this is a serious pick. SummerSlam 2004, I thought was a shit show. And you said last week that we had to start reviewing shit shows again to balance it out, right?
First of all, you're the one that fucking said it, not me.
Well, you told me that last week. I remember you saying that to me last week when you picked this show.
I swear to God, if it's a few of the ones I think that it is, go fuck yourself.
Oh, and besides, you told me fuck you in advance before we even got to this point. Literally at the very start.
Yes.
So, and you have every right to, by the way. Because, yeah, we are doing summer events, and there are more than just one pay-per-view that took place in the summertime. Besides SummerSlam, obviously. So, and you know we gotta get this done sooner or later, motherfucker. So what we're going to be reviewing next week on the friggin' review segment, King of the Ring 95.
Just wait.
Just to see how big of a shit show that really was.
Just fucking wait.
And then after we're done with that event, I never, ever want to see that show ever again.
You think that was shit? Okay.
Oh, and I already know what you're gonna make me do on the week afterwards. You gotta threaten me with a good time. You know I'm gonna be taking the piss out of that one, just to keep my fucking sanity or what's left of it. Oh, I already know, motherfucker.
Clue.
And technically, King of the Ring took place during the summer months, so it counts. Back when it was a pay-per-view.
Oh,
you fucking... You gave me cringe and I raised you shit.
King afraid.
Yeah, you fucking... You gave me cringe, so I raised you shit. You made me review the Matt Hardy Kane fucking storyline.
It was Logan Paul style.
You made me review the fucking cringe Kane Matt Hardy storyline. I'm getting you back with shit.
Well, buddy.
So next week we're all going to hell. So anything else?
Buddy, prepare.
Oh, boy, I know about all the crappity, shitty shit shows. And you knew we had to review this one eventually, motherfucker.
I may give you guys a hint right now of what I am thinking. For one of them was a WCW in 95.
Hey, man, you can't scare me. 1995 for both companies were crap shows. 2000 was a crap year for freaking goddamn WCW as well.
Then there was 97. Then there was 99.
Oh, God, there's only
the
two.
The worst of them all. 2000.
Oh, when it comes to 99, there's a handful of crappy events from 99 that I can think of.
Oh, I know.
Especially one that ultimately lives in the fucking dumpster in the depths of hell where it belongs. And just think, that the show I'm talking about or referencing there that belongs in that dumpster is not a WCW show, believe it or not. It has nothing to do with the big organizations. We all know. We already know what that one is. So yeah, look forward to being tortured next week. So until then, we will talk to you all later.
Oh, he has no idea what Pandora's box I will enter. He has no fucking idea.
Next week's gonna be really bad. Enjoy our fucking pain.
Oh, I enjoy pain. But this was beyond shit.
So yeah, until next week, we will talk to y'all later. Peace.
Deuces.